don't allow other people to knock you off track. And honestly, I mean, I know we talked last week about procrastination can be hard and all that kind of stuff. But I find this to be the thing that's most difficult.
Part of it is because we tend to, when we get a divorce, we tend to lose our boundaries.
Or we didn't have any to start with.
Or we didn't have any to begin with.
If you're like me, that was my problem. I had no boundaries.
Right. But how many times do you find yourself at the end of the day feeling like all you've done is other people's agendas?
Yep. Almost every day.
Almost every day. So we're going to fix Tammy in this episode.
All right, good.
Because everybody knows what you should be doing.
Yes. And they're happy to tell you.
Right. And so part of reclaiming and attaining your goals is to reclaim your own power and your own agenda. And that certainly doesn't mean that you never cooperate with anybody.
Right, or that you never serve somebody else that's in need.
Yeah, but you have to conserve your own energy. Again, a lot of people, their friends and family make demands on them, mm-hmm. and the more you give in to those demands, the more they demand.
Right.
Because they know that you're a pushover. Anybody can pull you off task. Like if your son has a project and you've got a very important task, you can be pulled into their agenda. Or if they just want, can we go surfing?
That's your sons that do that.
Oh, okay.
Surf or work? Surf or work? Sure, we can go surf, Thomas says.
I know, as much as it pains me, as much as I'm tired of being on your agenda.
There you go.
Like that. But you want to reclaim as much of it, and that doesn't mean that you don't do anything for anybody.
Right.
But it does mean that you have good priorities.
Right.
So number one, don't get sucked into doing stuff that somebody can do for themselves.
Right.
I think the biggest thing that divorcing people that pulls them off their agenda is their ex.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you were married to your ex, they were a very important person. And
Correct.
You should definitely go on a date night at least once a week,
right.
and you should listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when they want to talk to you, you should stop what you're doing and
pay attention.
Pay attention to them. Stop your matching and pay attention.
Like that.
To your spouse. And that's true. But now you're getting a divorce. And it's hard for some reason to knock them down on the priority list.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, they're not that important. It's not urgent for me to listen to them about all my shortcomings.
Right. It's interesting because a lot of the high conflict courses that Thomas and I took in the beginning, and we're both, certified to teach high conflict courses at this point, but
because we've had a lot of high conflict?
No, because we've tried to avoid high conflicts. We've tried to learn everything we can about avoiding it. But one of the things that they talk about is just doing something different, something that kind of causes that person to go, what? What's going on? What is that? And just that alone will start to shift, the way that you're interacting with each other.
Right. And one of the things you can do is just be nice.
Right.
That's one of the things. I mean, you don't have to have a 20-minute conversation,
right.
But you can just say, hey, I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Right. And being nice may be that thing that, again, that's you're doing something different. You're
right.
shifting, the power imbalance. And
I've seen that turn cases around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people, it's disarming.
It is. Because somebody can't argue with you if you refuse to argue. Also in divorce, we have our attorney's agenda to deal with, right?
Yeah.
In that.
Yeah, and sometimes the attorney's agenda is not your agenda.
Right.
And I don't mean making money.
Right.
What I really mean is, as an attorney, my wheels are always turning on how to win the case and how to sock it to the other side.
Right.
I mean, let's face it.
Right.
And socking it to the other side is not always going to accomplish your goals.
Right. Right. Maybe you want to cooperate so you don't spend as much money and you get out of this, or maybe you want to cooperate so that you'll have a better outcome for your kids over the long haul, or maybe you want to cooperate so that you can get this over with as quickly as possible and move on with your life.
Yeah.
And your attorney is most of the time sitting around thinking of legal strategies of how to make the other side miserable.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
I specialize in making people miserable.
And every motion that you
not
go
nice.
in on, you have to write a declaration about the other side. And the way the system is structured, you just about always have to say something negative about the other person, and so that can be very hurtful back and forth. And, we had a couple that came in several years ago, both physicians, highly paid, educated professionals, and they both had attorneys, and they got about, I think, $15,000 a piece in, and they were fighting over custody of a young child, and they had nowhere near a resolution. And they came into our office and they said, we want to fire our attorneys and do mediation because we're done.
Yeah.
And so, that you have to make sure that your attorney understands. I mean, obviously we're relying on the attorneys for legal strategy and all those types of things, but you have to communicate to them, look, I don't want to go this direction in resolving my divorce issues.
And a coach could probably help you with that.
Right.
Because a lot of times I'm baffled by what my client tells me, and it's kind of like, really? That's what you want to do? And they have a good reason for doing it, but we're not communicating.
We have to keep revisiting that priority grid we talked about a couple episodes ago, because I think that really is one of the things that derails us a lot, is just getting into things that are urgent and not important. That's
right.
That's the big downfall.
Right. Yeah. So you want, those are things that you can delegate.
Right.
Or completely
not do.
And try to have grace with people, because it's hard.
We're all struggling.
But interpersonal conflict is one of those things that's going to be a barrier. It's going to keep you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So avoid the toxic people, stay away from them, and don't be a toxic person, I guess. Don't
give or receive any toxicity.
Well, a lot of times we do get kind of a pleasure out of disparaging others, and it's particularly our ex.
Right.
And I've come to realize that my ex-wife was right about a lot of stuff.
Right.
And it's been a long road to that. But
right. Right. Well, they always say if you want to have the tallest building in town, there's two ways to accomplish that. You can either get to work on building the highest building in town, or you can tear down everyone else's buildings. And that's sort of that, twisted satisfaction we get from seeing our ex struggle, or trying to, put them down, or
I got a word
whatever.
of the day.
Uh-oh.
Schadenfreude.
Oh. What is that?
Schadenfreude is taking pleasure in the pain of others.
And I assume it's a German word?
I don't know.
Sounds like it.
I think it is. Must be.
Yeah. Does it have anything to do with Sigmund Freud?
No.
Oh.
No. Or his shadow.
Okay. On that note, I think you've had enough of us. So thanks for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this whole series. This is step 5. Don't allow other people to knock you off track. And so if you've missed steps 1 through 4, or the kind of overview episode we did before that, go to divorceuniversityonline.com. You can listen to those episodes. This is episode 132. So 127 through 131 will be the previous episodes. You can find those on the website. If you'd like to follow us on Facebook, our address is facebook.com/myfamilylaw office, and that will give you the ability to get notices on the podcast releases and on any trainings or events that we host or have. So if you've not yet rated or reviewed us wherever you're listening to us, please do that. It helps us get higher in the rankings, helps more people find us, and we always appreciate your support.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to